In today's fast-paced world, the true essence of love and respect in marriage often gets lost in the noise, but Islam provides us with timeless guidance on how to treat our wives with the utmost care and compassion. The relationship between husband and wife is more than just a partnership. It's a sacred bond designed to bring peace, love, and spiritual growth. The teachings of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ set the perfect example of how to build a marriage grounded in kindness, respect, and mutual understanding. In this video, we'll explore key Islamic principles that highlight the importance of loving and caring for our wives, whether it's through emotional support, acts of service, or simply being there when she needs you. Islam teaches us that a successful marriage is built on mercy, patience, and unwavering commitment. Let's dive into these powerful lessons today. Point 1. Marriage as a sacred bond in Islam. In Islam, marriage is far more than a legal agreement. It's a sacred covenant between two souls, designed to foster peace, love, and spiritual growth. The Quran describes this relationship as one of tranquility, affection, and mercy, highlighting that a spouse is not just a partner in life, but a garment for the soul, providing comfort, protection, and closeness. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:187. This metaphor alone shows the depth and sanctity of the marital bond in Islam. Marriage is considered half of a person's faith, which speaks to its spiritual significance. It is a means through which believers can attain taqwa, God consciousness, as it teaches patience, selflessness, and responsibility. When approached with sincerity and guided by Islamic principles, marriage becomes an act of worship that brings two people closer to Allah. It's not merely about rights and obligations, but about fulfilling each other's needs with compassion and respect. Islam recognizes the emotional and spiritual aspects of this bond, encouraging spouses to be sources of peace and support for one another. By treating marriage as a sacred trust, Muslims can build homes grounded in faith, where love is nurtured and Allah's pleasure is sought in every interaction. Point 2. Prophet Muhammad's example. The life of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ offers the most beautiful and practical example of how a husband should treat his wife. He wasn't just a leader and messenger. He was a loving, considerate, and gentle husband. He shared in household duties, helped his wives with chores, and never made them feel inferior. Despite his immense responsibilities, he always made time for his family, showing us that love is not just in grand gestures, but in small daily actions. The Prophet ﷺ communicated with kindness, listened with patience, and never raised his voice in anger. He expressed his love openly, once saying about Khadija radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu, "She believed in me when no one else did." His loyalty and emotional intelligence were unmatched, teaching men that strength is not in dominance, but in mercy and understanding. He treated each of his wives with fairness and dignity, never favoring one over another unjustly. Even in times of disagreement, he handled matters with calmness and compassion. His actions weren't limited to emotional care. He also supported their education, opinions, and individuality. By embodying these qualities, the Prophet ﷺ gave us a living model of what it means to be a righteous and loving husband in Islam. Point 3. Kindness and compassion. Kindness and compassion are at the heart of every successful Islamic marriage. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "The most perfect of believers in faith are those best in character, and the best of you are those best to their wives." This powerful teaching places kindness as a measure of both faith and character. In Islam, a husband's treatment of his wife reflects his relationship with Allah, making gentleness and empathy not optional, but essential. Kindness goes beyond just being polite. It involves being sensitive to her feelings, forgiving her mistakes, and offering emotional support during difficult times. A compassionate husband is attentive to his wife's moods, needs, and unspoken concerns. He speaks gently, avoids harsh criticism, and never belittles or humiliates her. Compassion is also shown through thoughtful gestures, helping her when she's tired, listening without judgment, and standing by her during times of stress or sorrow. These acts, though small, build trust and emotional security. In Islam, this form of care strengthens the bond between spouses and reflects the broader Islamic ethic of mercy toward others. When a husband leads with compassion, the home becomes a place of peace, love, and spiritual growth for both partners. Point 4. Emotional and physical support. In an Islamic marriage, a husband is entrusted with the responsibility of being a pillar of support for his wife, not just financially, but emotionally and physically as well. Islam acknowledges that women, like men, have emotional needs that deserve attention, validation, and understanding. A husband should be a safe space for his wife, someone she can confide in without fear of judgment or dismissal. Offering emotional support means being present during her moments of vulnerability, encouraging her in her aspirations, and comforting her in times of distress. Physical support goes hand in hand with emotional care. This includes helping with daily responsibilities, ensuring her well-being, and being attentive to her health and comfort. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, would personally assist with household tasks, showing that offering physical support is an act of love, not a burden. When a husband takes initiative in easing her burdens, it strengthens the emotional bond and cultivates mutual respect. Moreover, Islam teaches that spouses are garments for one another, providing warmth, protection, and intimacy. Fulfilling these roles with sincerity fosters trust and deepens the connection between husband and wife. True support in marriage isn't passive, it's active, intentional, and rooted in genuine care and concern. Point 5. Mutual love and mercy. One of the most beautiful aspects of an Islamic marriage is the emphasis on mutual love and mercy. The Quran says in Surah Ar-Rum 30:21, "And among his signs is that he created for you from yourselves mates that you may find tranquility in them, and he placed between you affection and mercy." This verse highlights that the foundation of marriage is not control or obligation, but a divine balance of warmth and compassion between two people. Love in Islam is not just an emotion, it's an action. It's expressed through care, protection, and sacrifice. Mercy, on the other hand, is what allows love to endure through hardship. It softens the heart during disagreements and helps couples overlook flaws and mistakes. When both spouses embody these qualities, their relationship becomes a source of comfort rather than conflict. This mutual exchange is what makes a marriage thrive. It's not about one giving while the other takes. It's about both nurturing the relationship equally. When a husband approaches his wife with tenderness and a forgiving heart, he fulfills a core teaching of Islam. Through this balance of love and mercy, the marital bond not only survives, but flourishes, becoming a means of spiritual growth and divine reward. Point 6. Actions over words. In Islam, sincerity is proven through actions, not just speech. And this principle is especially true in marriage. A husband's love should not be limited to words alone. While expressing affection verbally is important, consistent and thoughtful actions are what truly reflect the depth of his commitment. Islam teaches us that deeds speak louder than intentions, and the small, everyday acts of care are often more powerful than grand declarations. Simple gestures, like preparing something she likes, helping without being asked, or remembering things that matter to her, demonstrate attentiveness and concern. These actions show that a husband values his wife, not just as a partner, but as someone deserving of consistent care and effort. They create emotional security and strengthen the trust between spouses. Moreover, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ led by example, showing love through service, patience, and presence. He didn't just speak of kindness, he lived it. In following this prophetic example, a husband fulfills a deeply spiritual role, embodying love through sincere, mindful action. Ultimately, when love is lived out through behavior, it becomes more than just an emotion. It becomes a form of worship and a reflection of one's faith in practice. Point 7. Patience and understanding. Patience and understanding are essential qualities in any successful marriage, and they are especially emphasized in Islam. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ often spoke about the importance of being patient in the face of difficulties, not just with others, but especially with those closest to us. Marriage, by its nature, requires patience, as both spouses learn to live together, compromise, and navigate life's challenges. Patience in a marriage is not just about tolerating your spouse's shortcomings, but about understanding that everyone has their own struggles, emotions, and personal growth. When faced with disagreements or difficult times, a husband should remain calm, avoiding hasty judgments or actions. Instead, he should take the time to understand his wife's perspective, offering empathy and a willingness to listen. Understanding, in turn, comes from being aware of your wife's needs, emotional, physical, and spiritual. It involves recognizing when she needs support, when she desires space, or when she is simply in need of comfort. Islam teaches us that a marriage is a partnership in which both individuals work together with patience and understanding, helping each other grow in faith and as individuals. By practicing these qualities, a husband can strengthen his relationship, creating a home filled with peace, harmony, and mutual respect. In conclusion, Islam offers profound guidance on how to nurture a loving and compassionate marriage. By following the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, we can create a bond based on respect, kindness, and mutual support. May Allah bless us with the wisdom to be the best husbands to our wives and grant us peace and happiness in our marriages. If you found this video beneficial, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Pure Deen for more inspiring content. Leave a comment below with a prayer for a blessed marriage. Jazakallah khair.